Cindy Mason.
Kaylee Carnahan.
Joanne Broadwater.
Okay, thank you.
You don't have Kaylee.
Can you pass it? Kaylee.
You just
Kaylee.
Yes,
Can you
sorry.
pass it down? please?
Yes. There you go.
Joanne, thank you so much for doing this, truly, truly.
I'm looking at it right now.
We also
Mayor
have
Grant, are you
present,
attending? Can I put you on here as in attendance?
Sure.
All right.
Welcome.
Mayor, thank you.
And our lawyer is also present as well.
No, she's not.
Oh, she's not. She's off the clock.
Official capacity.
She's just
Okay,
Resting.
let's get started and go over, has everybody had time to review the minutes?
yes. I'm just finishing reading the last part. Yes, I did. I make motion to pass. Why am I having
Approve.
Approve. Thank you. I'm having a hard time today. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, over old business, we just want to go ahead and make sure, just complete that the fire territory bond issue is all done. We're rolling, correct, Joanne?
Yes,
There's
correct.
nothing else to do with that.
The cable one cable lane purchase is complete. That's all done. It's been
Correct.
paid
Yes.
for. And then the Shepherd's Landing development, they are still waiting to see, it's my understanding, if they're receiving the Ready To grant. And that whole Ready To grant is tied up because Purdue hasn't expended their Ready One money. So do we have any idea when that, we have no idea.
I don't have any idea.
Larry does not know.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
I did get a request from a citizen wanting to know when we were going to mow one cable lane. And since redevelopment commission now owns it
Well, we changed that though, so that we don't have to mow it.
twice a year.
Oh, we have to mow it, so we have to pay for that.
Okay,
Matt, is there a name that you would like to
Mhm.
address with that? Was the last name begin with the letter C?
yes.
Is it the lady or the man?
The lady.
Okay. That would be my grandmother.
She's gonna mow it?
No.
She wants to know when it's going to be
She wants to know
mowed.
when it's going to be mowed. I don't know why she cares. She doesn't have a dog anymore that jumps back in there and can't be seen.
I
I
thought-
said I would pass it along.
Okay, fine. I think that's fair. I noticed that there was a path that is kind of mowed because the people in another edition come down and use that path to go to the golf course. And I think maybe we should just, I didn't say it.
No, no.
Close that off?
No. That could be a toll to mow the yard.
I guess should we consider okay, we did say 2 times a year. I remember we had talked about it twice a year that we need to pay for that.
I think we definitely need to do it.
I know, but
think
is
that's-
that something that we take on that's not something we ask the city boys to do, right? Because we need a bush hog to do that, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay if I take that on to try to find somebody to do that, to get a quote?
That's fine.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Is that appropriate to find someone? Is that appropriate?
I mean, it'll be paid out of the redevelopment.
Redevelopment,
Yeah, it would
fund,
yeah.
just to kind of get a quote,
Sure,
so we would have this.
Of course,
person.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, that makes sense unless you and Cindy are gonna go out and do it.
I'm gonna pass. I think my allergies might have to.
I can picture us
Just
now.
let me know because I want to make sure I'm there with the video.
Yeah. Yes, I'll just
Yeah.
take the golf cart and just run it past and it'll just lay it down.
We need to do that, though. I agree. We
I
need
will.
to do that.
I will try to figure that out and I'll send them.
I think if we go ahead and get does anybody have an idea of what a reasonable bid would be?
They
Are
told
we
us.
talking all
Brian
7
Kraft
acres?
may know because he had it mowed last year.
Okay.
He
true.
did, and he told
Yeah.
us the price, and it was quite high. And it was something that I think when we were listening to it, we were all pretty shocked. Do you remember? It was
And that was why he came and wanted to know if we could just mow twice a year.
yes, because it was somebody that had done, and it was pricey.
Expensive. Okay.
And even though it's zoned R
No, it was in the
currently, there's
thousands.
no houses back there. So it's
It was
not
high.
like your neighbor's property is getting too high or something.
Right.
I'll call and get a couple quotes and see if we can get somebody
Okay.
down there. But I won't obviously do anything until I bring it back or ask one of you to do anything like that.
Haley will check.
Is that what it's called? Is that the correct terminology to bush hog it? Is that the correct terminology?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want anybody to look at me like I'm crazy when I call them and be like, I know what that is.
Find some farmer that's not busy. 'Cause they've all
Not
got-
busy.
They've all got bush hogs and
Okay.
if they get their
And most
planting
of,
done. they've
most of them got
time.
their planning done anyway, so yeah, they
Yeah.
might want something to do.
Yep.
Okay, great. Um,
Well.
I think we still would like to, and I would like to take a trip to look at some different patio condos. I had somebody else bring that up to me.
I had somebody else bring that to me too. Hey,
And-
we're live today, just so you know.
That's something in here.
Okay, I get it.
I would like for us just to look at some, to see what some options might be. And then come back, be prepared at the next meeting.
Is that, could we talk about the email that we got? Is this the appropriate time to bring that up? Or no? From Brian?
Well, that's fine. I think it's two different things though.
Oh, that is the two different things. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
My bad. That was two different things. I'm sorry. I was thinking, I guess going back to this, because we do need to figure out what type of development that we wanted.
yes.
So he had brought up at one of our meetings prior to this, though, about someone that had interest. No, it was not.
I just think that we need to look at different options.
Okay.
Because at one time, when we originally were offered the property, it was saying, you could have 4 big homes back there.
Mhm.
And all the talk that I have heard is like, we need smaller homes. Let's don't forget that there's a need. And I've had several people ask about the patio condos.
I have two. I don't disagree with you.
And so I just think we need to look at that as an option before we start going out and saying, well, this is what we're going to do. And, maybe we do decide on 4 nice homes. Maybe we decide on 7 homes. I don't know. But I think we need to start. So and I will make some arrangements and let people know. How's that
Okay.
sound? And we can do like a road
We're
trip.
gonna do a road trip.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And to add to that, the one developer that's interested in the grade school, Todd Winlet out of Indianapolis, I had a conversation with him. And he possibly
For patio condos.
patio condos.
Okay.
And the great thing with that development company is they're not expecting any type of TIF financing, no tax abatements, anything else. It's cash on the barrel. I did take him out there.
Okay.
After he was at the school board meeting.
And what do you think?
He said you could easily comfortably put 11.
Patio condos?
Mm-hmm. And if you're looking on the south side of Lafayette, along Veterans Parkway, there's several patio where.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe even something a little bit. Yes, I've looked at those too, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a very good opportunity there because I heard today that on some of the ready funds and that, they're not even ready for ready to yet.
That's what we were just, that was
We
something
just said,
we
no,
just said the
that's
same
going
thing.
nowhere.
Yeah, so some of the developers, even in Tippecanoe County, they're looking elsewhere.
Okay.
So I think we have plenty of options there. And I think the approach that we've taken is the right approach, so.
If you've talked to that guy, I just would I'd like to hear, or I don't know, I'd like to hear more
Yeah.
about what he.
Let's see what he's done.
Yeah, is there does he have like a website or anything, like, is that type of thing?
Where is his closest, do you know?
Well, they've got one in Lebanon, mainly around the Indy area. And to kind of give you an idea, his plans, if they purchase the school, it'd be cash only. And they're interested in the school and the football field.
Mm-hmm. I remember you saying that.
And on the football field, they're looking at anywhere from 18 to 20 townhouse homes.
Wow.
And then where the grade school's at, 30 townhouses. So
So would they tear down the school?
part of it, yes, where the cafeteria and all that's at.
Okay.
And they're still interested on the north side where the playground's at to work a deal out with the city for the ambulance. So from what I interpreted from the school board meeting, the other developer, they didn't want the football field.
I know, I was bummed I didn't get to go to that meeting.
They just wanted the school.
Was that Iron Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of their projects, $5 million in TIF, $1.5 million in tax credits, and then the builder group 1.5 versus the other developer, they'll pay cash for the property and their finance it all. So
It's nice.
he is, I pointed out several that we have, even downtown where that hotel was. So
200 block.
yeah, 200 block, but that there was a good option.
Yeah, because that's ready.
So
Okay, so we've got some things that we can work on before our next meeting and
Mhm.
see. I know Ironman 2 has got several developments around Delphi, Crawfordsville, Frankfurt that we could check. So,
I
yeah.
know, and I didn't get to go to that one, to the one that when they opened in Delphi. Did you get to go? Did you go to that one?
No, I've been there.
Okay.
Um,
and I'll forward the email address of them and their projects they've had.
Okay.
So
the other thing that we all received a note from Brian about having shovel-ready projects ready to go, and one was up here by Pizza Hut.
Mhm.
And I'm not for sure, and I understand Eric's not going to be here tonight, but I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. I would think there's already water up there.
There's water and sewer both there.
So, that's part of it that's already been addressed. And I don't know what else you can really do until you find out what type of development is going to go in there. Is it going to be houses, or is it going to be apartments, or,
And
that front half it's already zoned commercial.
that first one, it's zoned, is it?
Are you talking about the one right next to Pizza Hut or
Yeah.
behind the,
right next to it?
Right next to it.
okay. I know the other parcel is zoned, I think, industrial, and
light
agricultural. right.
Yeah.
But I don't know what'd you do with the,
I was looking at on my
where did
phone.
the,
I put it
things
back,
go
I
that
put it
just-
back over here.
I mean, if you want to grab it, I can look at it while you're looking at something else.
No, I was looking at it on my phone. Larry had just sent it to us.
Oh, was it Larry Good?
I'm telling you.
He's
I
the
won't.
best.
Unfortunately, we're live streaming, so it's recorded.
So yellow was, what's yellow? Sorry,
Suburban.
Suburban. So this is Tractor Supply. See, this is Suburban right across here.
Right.
And then this would be, so that property that's.
So
the front
this is
property-
light industrial. That's where they wanted the
That's
over
Pizza
55
Hut.
development.
That's this back here. That's
See, it's
this,
all one piece.
It's light, it's
Light
It's behind us light,
industrial
but right next to
But
it
it's
is
not
also
all
light.
zoned the same.
Okay.
no, it's also, it's half, that one in the back is half light industrial, half
right there.
suburban, and then this is the lane right here. But the one right next to it where the lane is,
Yeah.
that's,
Agricultural.
it's suburban.
Oh, suburban. Yeah.
What is agricultural? Is
Oh,
it
no, it's
politically?
suburban. A lot of the
Yeah, so-
agricultural is,
Which again, it's all, I get things, it looks like confetti sprinkled in. There's not any, I know some of them have to be that certain way. So I guess the only thing that I would say, which I don't, if there's any way that we can help things, that'd be great. But my only other concern would be is just like we're gonna have cost with, I was gonna bring up, we get cost with the mowing, and then depending on what we do with our property that we own.
Right.
What is it looking like there? Are we gonna have to put in water? Are we gonna have to put in sewer back there? Because we know it runs to it,
Yeah,
we're gonna be
yes,
on the hook for
yes.
the other things. So we need to keep that into consideration too, that regardless of what happens,
I agree.
that has to be first, only because we own it.
Right.
but I'm not against, whatever, but you think that he thinks there's water out there already.
Well, I'm sure there's water out there. They've got it behind it.
That's true.
You know, so you know
And
the
that's
water's
sewer
up there.
Clear out to just past the hotel,
I'm saying, so the hotel's on this side,
where the barn's
houses are on
at,
this
out there
side,
next to the hotel.
so it should
It goes
be,
clear out there.
So water
And in
and
the front.
sewer's already out there, so that,
Yeah.
so what other thing would be shovel ready? What else would it be to get it? I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
mean,
we
I
can
think
ask.
zoning was part of the discussion we had, multiple
Yes.
months ago, making sure it's zoned correctly, and then utilities.
Well, it depends on who wants to buy it.
Right, yeah,
You
exactly.
know, and let them come to us and say, we want it zoned a certain way.
What is allowed in suburban?
I think that's pretty open,
That's
isn't it,
kind of a
Larry?
holding pattern. You would have to rezone it to whatever. If you were gonna put apartments there, it'd have to be R3. If you're putting single family homes, it'd be R1. It's just kind of, I think it was just used as a placeholder.
Or if you wanted light business, I mean,
Yeah, because half it's light industrial back there. That one is
Or
half, which
commercial
is
or
weird.
whatever.
I mean, it could be
Yeah.
another business, I mean,
Yeah.
like across the street.
Like a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think whoever wants to develop that knows that they would need to come to the planning commission or the zoning commission and say, we would like this property zoned such, but if it's already got water and sewer, I don't know that we really need to do anything at this point.
Well, I guess what we need to look at is what would be in the best interest of the community to go there. I don't think housing or apartments would be a good thing because it really doesn't fit. What would go there, some type of commercial setting. That's just how I feel.
Mhm.
Because if you look what everything's coming to the east of town, that's what we got. Taco Bell and all that out there.
And really, it's touching other properties that are
Residential.
Residential.
Well, no, I mean on
Commercial,
the other, no, it's
Pizza Hut.
commercial. It's got Pizza Hut. It's
Mhm.
got the
The other businesses.
other
east of
businesses.
Pizza
Yeah,
Hut.
yeah.
There's that drive, it goes back to that subdivision back here, and I know that was an issue with those property owners with the
Well, it's the
apartments going there.
easement. There's the easement question there, and I don't know if that's something that we address.
I don't think we have to address it until it comes up to be an issue, right?
Well, they would have that, you would have to honor, whoever buys it would have to honor that easement.
Yeah, that easement doesn't go away. That easement's there forever.
I think that
Well, I think the way it's zoned now is, it's an optional, and I think if we want to say we think commercial makes the most sense,
on the
you
road,
can say that, but.
I think that you might be right.
And to entice developers, and I don't know how, this is probably a Tom Pittman question or Barb's, is, I know the owner would have to change it, but to get that zoning already changed to commercial to entice a buyer so they don't have to go through it.
Well, it's not a big deal.
Well, it
Is
is.
it? I mean, I know the buyer has to do it.
Because that's part of the so-called term shovel ready is having the
Proper
zoning,
zoning code.
having it in zone.
Mhm.
And the advantage I see of us as community is if we are have it zoned at, that's who's gonna be enticed to it.
I
Right
know.
now, it's kind of an open door.
I think that front property for sure. Well, I mean, I don't see anybody building a house there. I see somebody putting a business there. I mean,
Right.
it's right on the highway. There's
Right.
I think it is prime real estate for that. Some type of, whatever it might
Well,
be.
yeah,
So I do think that I personally don't, even though there's a house right next to it and there's houses behind it, I don't think that, and let's also say this, for the price that they're selling it for, they're pricing it out to somebody that is a business, a commercial
Commercial.
business, rather than a buyer to build a home, because it is it's pricey for me to go and buy that property and build a house.
Now,
okay,
I-
so then currently we're saying that Jerry would have to come and approach the planning commission and request that it be changed to commercial.
Yeah,
Right.
it would have to be a
Yeah.
business, so it'd be B1, B2, or
A big
Commercial.
industrial,
Yeah.
well,
Commercial.
but well, there isn't a commercial listed on there. It would have,
So,
it would be
yeah.
B1 business, B1, B2, industrial,
Not
Or light
industrial,
or
yeah.
light industrial, sorry, I mean light industrial.
unless it was a knife factory, that might have.
Well, and I always say light industrial because the other part, the one that they still own next to it, that other property that it's half,
Right.
that is half
Right.
industrial, half suburban,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah,
so
it's
weird.
crazy.
But it might be because of what's in front of it. That was
Maybe.
industrial, I think, at one point.
That makes
or light
sense too. What
industrial.
was there? I forget. My
Car dealership.
car dealership.
Car-
brands, yeah.
Berkey's was there.
Berkey's, yeah.
Before that was a Ford dealership.
What
So
about
Pogues.
was that?
It was Pogues.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What's Pogues?
That was their name,
Oh,
going back in the
Pope
day.
Motors. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a Ford dealership.
I just
okay.
learned something new.
Yeah.
So
So-
I think they're marketing it definitely towards a commercial
Well,
type
then,
of use.
Here's what I wouldn't want to get into, and I'll put this as nicely as I can. I wouldn't want to entice somebody to come here and have them on the cusp of putting whatever here and come to this board and ask for a rezoning and have 500 people out here saying they don't want it.
true.
Because that developer that did that will never ever come back to Attica.
Right.
And I don't want to give that bad taste to anybody else.
And that's part of the reason why I brought that up is
Do we prep it now?
it is,
So it's done,
Well, that's,
but it's not, I mean, that would have to be
The owner
Jerry.
still has to come,
Jerry
Jerry would
would
have
it
to
would be
come.
Jerry, the owner, but he would have to come and petition for it to be rezoned.
And it still, he could have,
Still 500 people show up. but-
yeah,
He could. But
that's the only way it's gonna get done.
I think that's the
Right.
only way it's gonna get done. I think if somebody comes and says, we wanna put this here and we'd like to rezone it, and it doesn't happen, then we've left a bad taste in somebody else's mouth.
And they've
Okay.
invested into something that,
Is that,
no,
Is
that,
that-
yeah.
Makes sense.
I had a conversation with the realtor for that. And I said, you need to get it zoned to what you want, what can be sold to be put in there is comfortable for your neighbors. And apartments is not it. That would be some type of commercial. It could be a car wash or what have you, but something. And I don't know how far that went to Jerry, but I think, what we have, the property that we own, we have that way it should be. And I think from the email, it was kind of like, well, the Economic Commission needs to buy that property and we do that. I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, no,
Yeah.
we've already bought our property for the year.
Right, and
Amen,
we're-
sister.
is there some economic development commissions that can do that? Yes, but we're not in that situation. And
No, we would not have any money.
yeah, so, I still believe in, and whatever everybody decides is we focus on getting that developed and doing the footwork on it and getting that and, move forward on that.
I think you're right.
I did submit the information to, pictures and everything at Purdue, on the LTAP. So the local technical assistant program, Purdue does it, which the two focuses I had out here on 28 was one, looking at on speed limit, and secondly is providing a safe walkway for pedestrians. The lady told me last week it will probably be this fall before they can even look at anything on ours. And the earliest that the next funding period would be 27. So we'd apply for it next year. But
At least we're getting there though, because I do think that it's gonna have to be changed. It's very fast out there. Especially if you put another business out there, people are stopping. I already get nervous if I'm turning into Tractor Supply or if I've got to turn into the eye doctor out there or the church even. It is fast. People are not, they're not moving slowly.
even if we want to do something immediately, we'd have to pay for a traffic study. We'd have to do all these steps. And we're gonna run in cost in that.
Well,
as a city.
That's
we would-
that's a state highway. Do we have any control over that at all?
No, that's what he
Yeah,
was
that's
saying.
why you
in
have
the
to have
same-
traffic.
That's why you gotta do,
study done
okay,
and
I got you.
Petition the state.
Yeah.
Okay,
So a lot of that, us as a committee or the city won't be absorbing any cost on it.
So the speed limit right at now is 30, correct?
It's 30 by the church, and then right as you hit Taco Bell, it goes to 40.
going out of town.
Going out of town,
And then
at
it,
40.
yeah, and then it hits 40 right there by the ag repair building. It's 40 and then it immediately drops down to 30, probably by the time you get to Pizza Hut or right past Pizza Hut.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually,
right, it's,
right where,
it's at Taco Bell. no.
where that church is at.
It's up right there. It's 30.
Yeah.
It's really fast. And like I said, there's so many businesses that are new out there to turn. It's somebody,
Mhm.
I mean, somebody might not be paying attention regardless, but it's fast. Even turning in, to be honest with you, as a teen driver turning into where mom and dad live, mom was always so nervous about us turning in there. And that was before all of those businesses were out there. It was,
So that was the two
Initially.
objectives I gave him, was one with pedestrian, which from where the sidewalk ends, ideally would be right at 1,100 feet, which would be on the south side. So,
You just did that, I mean, the city just did that not that long ago, because there didn't used to be a sidewalk up the hill. Do you
It's
remember?
been there by Jerry Heaters ever since I can remember.
yeah.
oh yeah, that was when
Only thing,
when I was a
only thing
kid.
the city recently did is put in the ADA requirement on the end of them.
Okay,
Yes, on the little thing. Yeah, because I wrote
That's
down,
what I'm
yeah,
thinking
when I
of.
was a kid.
That's
Cause that ditch is there along,
right.
So
Okay. Thanks for doing that, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, that's super
I
awesome.
wanted to, God forbid, I mean, something's gonna happen, and I'd rather get it on the table and start working on it. And us as a committee in the city showing good faith. So,
Sorry, I'm trying to look up somebody to bush hog.
Joanne, do you have any update for us as far as any information from Heidi or anything? I mean, we're all done. You've got all the reports sent in that will have to be sent in.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all good.
All that stuff's taken care of. It's been loaded to Indiana Gateway. So yes, everything
Thank
that
you.
was done, needed to be done is done. The only thing that I have not done is updated the spending plan and updated it, uploaded it to Gateway. But I don't know if there's a time frame on that.
Okay. Do we have other business that we need to address? Well, first of all, do you want me to get back to Brian and just say this board is leaning heavily towards having that zoned business?
my thoughts was suggesting to Brian that to get in contact the owner that
Well, yeah.
have better
granted.
marketability of getting that zoning changed commercial. But at this time, we wouldn't be interested in purchasing it. That's how I took the email that,
I didn't take it as we were gonna purchase. I was just,
I would see if Jerry Myers is interested in going ahead and rezoning it now.
do you want me to talk to Jerry?
If you want to.
I mean, I can talk to Jerry.
I mean, I think that would make it more marketable
Yeah.
too. Because
that's,
like you guys said, that's what's gonna go there. We're not gonna put houses right in there, but next to Pizza Hut.
It doesn't
It's
make any
gonna be a
sense.
commercial
Mhm.
property.
Well, and like I said, with the prices that it's currently listed at, that they're not selling that to me.
And that
To
way,
put a house
that way
on.
when
They're just
somebody
not-
buys it, they've bought it and they can put what they want there. They don't have to come with their hat in their hand and ask anybody to do it
Okay.
at that point in time.
Rezoning to, so what should I say, commercial or
B1,
B1?
business, B1 or B2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Oh, sorry, I'll take that.
No, it's okay. I just have it under the table. The part that has the zoning on it's the part that's rolled
I know.
up. Oh, local business or general business. B1 is local business, B2 is general business.
So maybe B2.
What's the difference?
There's not a lot of difference.
I
to be
mean-
honest with you.
I'm
Is
sorry, I just
B2
said
a
B2.
chain?
General and local, I mean, that to me
I
means
just said B2 just because it seemed
general business.
More-
more
What's
broad.
Tractor Supply
It's purple.
Taco Bell is
Well, is it dark or light purple? Because they're both
it's
purple.
probably not either.
Or even Pizza
It's-
Hut, that's a chain.
It's dark purple.
So that's B2.
So I would say B2. But I will say the yellow,
What
now
is-
this isn't probably
What is
updated.
this?
This is,
Is that little?
that's
or-
Little's, yeah.
Okay.
So
So part of it's local and part of it's
this is
general.
Casey's.
What is the clinic?
It is light, it's dark purple, so it's B2.
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 What
Yeah.
about the lot next to that one?
Where Taco Bell is.
No, the other way.
The one that they're just doing.
Oh,
now.
it's all B2 right now.
I would say probably B2.
And then that's what I'm thinking. I think it's more broad.
I do too.
I think B2 makes sense.
Okay.
Behind it, Mark's is B1. It lists right now, but I'm guessing that's not right. It lists where Taco Bell's at.
This
or no,
was 2013 was the last
Yeah,
time this
so
was
that- it's not-
updated. So
we
it's
need to-
been rezoned
it's
since
been,
then.
so yeah, it listed as suburban, but I know we
Right,
wouldn't,
yes,
because that
it's
doesn't
been
make any
rezoned.
sense that we wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. it
So
has
we're
been.
talking about the part right next to Pizza Hut. Are we also talking about the part behind them? As
I
light?
think that makes sense to put business. Do you agree?
Well, if you said that they can zone down but not up,
So make it B2, well,
Or do you make it industrial and then they could zone it down? Is that what you're saying? 'Cause
no,
there is-
I was saying B2.
Okay.
And then if they wanted to put something residential, they could zone it down.
That's, I don't know.
Just make it all
Are they-
B2?
Are they thinking it because it's,
I'm not thinking anybody would want to put residential in there, but
yeah.
It's all one property though, isn't it?
The back is
well,
not,
there's
there's
different
two.
plots. They're
He's selling
separated.
them separately.
Yeah, feasibly that back plot.
and you're still talking about the one that's the frontage, just there's
No.
front and back.
Right. I'm
Well,
I'm
Right,
specifically,
that's, the front's on the highway, the one
Right.
right next to Pizza Hut, not behind.
yeah, that's the B2, but the one that's
Behind.
behind,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one on State Road
We're talking
28
about
was two
both of
parcels. Okay,
the one next to Pizza Hut
and the
is
one
B2,
behind, right,
is B2. The one behind,
or
do we
should
wanna-
be B2.
do we want to make it B2 too?
I see what you're saying.
that
I don't,
feasibly,
probably not.
I'll say this, feasibly, I don't see anybody purchasing that back unless they purchase the front of where
Tony?
where they have their storage shed there. Because you only have two accesses. You got an access road coming off there, which is right next to Martin's house. And then you have one coming behind Myers' building. There's a, between Myers'
But they gotta
building.
go into
That was
yeah.
closed off. That was closed off. We looked at that, the zoning when they came before us, and we said you had to go off
That's true, because we talked about that
Yeah.
they didn't want to take the
Yeah.
time to explore
yeah, that's.
Working
been-
with the
working with the
owners of
owners to
the
try to
Well,
do it off
right.
of where the
hotel
hotel
is.
was.
Right,
My point is, it might
Which
not
would've
be
been
a
a good
Fifth Road,
entry
but
it would have been great, it would have been better.
to marketability wise, that's gonna be the best approach, is where Myers' building's at. Myers' building in that back area, because coming off this way is just not, it is not a good plan. People's not gonna do it.
But doesn't Myers own though?
That's what I was just trying to
Okay.
look at.
Yeah.
So
And
this.
I don't know that it will show up
It's
on
part,
there.
it's a portion.
Is it?
It's
Yeah, it's
split.
front portion. Ideally is
So the
if they
front
sell that
is
part and the back part.
B2, the
as
back
one.
is industrial, suburban, light industrial.
Make that all one property.
Yeah, all one.
Are we talking right there by the lane back to the hotel,
Yeah,
No,
motel?
No,
That's what I'm
on
talking-
the
I'm
other
talking-
side of the car dealership where the pole barn's at, the pole barn portion of the car dealership, Jerry still owns that,
Okay,
Yeah.
and he owns the property then behind that.
but that property, that one where he owns still, where it's listed as, like, this is the lane, that's listed as B2, and then the other portion of it is listed in light industrial. And then the back side
So where's
portion
the,
is light industrial and then suburban. right?
where's the
This is-
hotel?
The hotel would be here.
Yeah.
Oh, so he owns this lane back here, but he doesn't own this?
No, I don't know if he owns that. I'm saying he owns this this area here is where that
And is this a lane?
that's the lane to the hotel.
Okay, but what's this? Is that just a
It's just the property
line?
line.
Okay,
there is a path between the Farm Bureau building of Bryles's
mm-hmm,
and Myers' tool shed. there's
Okay.
access to that back
Okay,
property.
that's what I thought you were saying,
Right,
but that's
Is it?
not gonna show up on this.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it would probably show up on Beacon.
that's just a lane that, I mean, Jerry owns it,
Yeah.
and he owns the property behind it, so theoretically, you can do what Tim said and just combine that all into one property.
And have an entry point there.
Yeah. then you
That
don't
makes
have to worry about your entry point over where the markets live.
Would you have to get permission from the state to do that?
Because
I
he's already
mean,
got
not,
one.
not to zone it, but to make that, oh, because it's already
No,
there.
Because it's already there.
It's already
It's
there.
already there.
That's right, okay.
So what are you saying would be the best?
What are you asking for what we're asking to have it rezoned? What we think if we
Yes,
would like to
yes,
rezone
because
it?
I'm saying to him, the one on the left, the west side of Pizza Hut, we're saying B2.
B2,
I want to
yes.
know all the rest of it.
Right,
Do we think that should be B2 also?
Of Myers' property,
yeah,
Yes, because he's the owner.
yes,
I guess I'd leave that up to him, but if you're gonna combine that with the property that Tim's talking about, it would make sense, because the front's already B2, so you might as well make the back
Only
B2.
a portion of it is B2. It's
Yeah.
split.
Yeah.
The right half is
I-
B2 and
Does-
the
does- Does Jerry not own it all?
He does.
He does.
he owns the whole front building still? The whole where
No, he doesn't own the portion where Burke Metal Works is at. He
And that's
owns
the right
pole
hand
barn Side of that, on the west side of that
Okay.
property.
so he still has access to the back portion to
Yep.
the lot. Got it.
Yep.
Okay, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
right there between
That
the
makes
Farm
sense.
Bureau building and his.
I didn't realize honestly. I know that there's a lane back there because it still is connected to the other lane that goes back by Pizza Hut. But is there another lane that's connected from Bryles' property?
Runs
The-
between Bryles' property and that pole barn that I'm talking about.
There's that one. Okay.
Yeah.
The
I
Jerry.
just haven't paid attention all these.
Yeah. Drop by there next time and you can-
Yeah.
So the property
It just
that's
all
being
blends
offered
together.
for
It does.
sale, that is all Jerry's property,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
two
Jerry owns all
locations
of it.
basically.
I know,
Yeah.
there's the one right west and then it's the one behind.
Right north.
And what I'm saying is it the one behind, do we think that should all be B2?
I think if you made that B2, it would be very difficult because you really don't have a good way to get back there unless you go through the property that Tim's talking about.
Yeah, the suggestion that I made to the realtor was you split it up. That frontage, that there's
I
nothing
think
there,
he's gonna split it up anyway.
So
but
what?
to have more marketability, having that broken up will entice people, because now somebody looks at it, they're looking at as one piece.
Right.
And in my personal opinion, in best interest for Jerry is to split that up, that front, have that as business to
And then what would you do
this
with the
portion
back?
over here,
But if you,
have it zoned the same as what that front portion is. Where
Light
it's still
industrial.
different.
or just rezone the commercial part to B2 and just let the other part
Yep.
wait.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
So at least do the front portion as B2
Yeah.
right now. But do you see where
Yeah.
I don't know what, yeah, you could do light industrial. Because the other, one side of it already is, but
right.
the other, it's like a checkerboard.
Yep.
Because the other one, that property that he owns, all of it, there's three different ones on it.
Three different zones.
There's three different zonings on it right now.
And in changing that and reducing that is going to increase the marketability of it.
Yes.
Somebody's going to be more interested in buying it knowing, hey,
If it's already
I can
taken care of.
put
Mhm,
I'm gonna look
a
up.
donut shop here.
mhm.
I'll take a donut shop. That's just
But
fine.
it's gonna be up to Jerry
Jerry.
to solve the
Well, I can
egress
see
and
Jerry's-
ingress to that property back behind.
Okay, and I can see him saying to me, okay, Cindy, you want this B2, what should I do with the back?
Right.
I mean, I can see
And
Jerry
I
saying that to me.
agree. But
And
but
one
it's
of my-
gonna be up to him to
Okay.
decide how he's gonna get people in and out of there,
Okay,
because he gave the people easements to their houses that they built back there across his property.
right. Is he
And,
gonna do another easement,
well,
or what's he gonna,
An easement,
they just have an easement to their property, that it's still his property.
I know, yeah, as soon as I said that, I
so,
knew that's,
That's where it gets complicated, and that's where we ran into the problems with the development back there, was because people didn't want people cutting through there, even though it wasn't their property.
To me, it makes more sense coming in on Long Avenue.
It does. If you
But
could
they
get an easement from the people that own the hotel across their property
That makes
to
more
get
sense.
back there, that would have solved the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so
The only thing is, it's currently
Or
on.
if they could have purchased that, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, on Beacon, it currently lists that property as the whole thing together. I'm pretty sure it's listed on like the MLS as two separate properties.
I think they did list it as two separate.
So on here, I just don't think it's not done. But I don't know how that will change. Do you see where I'm saying? Like if he goes to try to do the zoning of it, if it's.
Unless they've already subdivided it. and-
Yeah,
it's just not
a-
Before
you could
it's
do
not
that.
updated.
They would have to subdivide it because that road that goes back to the little housing division back
It's not a
there.
road, it's just a path. It doesn't. belong
There's
to the
a,
road.
there's a road that goes back to the houses.
But that's an easement.
It's an
That-
easement.
that's an
Yeah, they're
easement.
gonna have to split it up,
It's not an official road.
yeah,
So, yeah,
okay, well, I'll tell you what,
we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna come up with
I'll
No,
call
yeah, that's
Jerry.
fine.
Sorry.
I just-
I'll go see Jerry.
Can you
What do
get
you
it?
think?
I'm not getting this map out again.
Good.
Oh, come on, kid.
Okay, is there anything else that we need to discuss
Nope.
tonight? Thanks, Tim, for all your hard
I
work.
did nothing here.
Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to get, like, is it better to
Me?
both, whoever,
Oh,
just about, once I get some quotes? Do you want me to
Molly?
text you?
Yeah, just
Molly?
text us, just text
Okay, text.
Texas.
Texas.
Texas
I will Texas you.
or Mississippi. Yes,
Can I make a motion?
Please.
please do.
Can I make them, okay, there we go.
Moved and seconded that the meeting is adjourned until July 14th
At 5 p.m.
at 5 p.m. Okay.
Now listen, in about